Have you brushed your teeth and combed your hair? Are you in your pajamas ready for bed? Are the curtains drawn and blankets tucked tight? Are you ready to sleep and say goodnight? But before you go into your dream ride, here's a story for you tonight. Tonight, I am taking you on a safari. Do you know what is a safari? It's the trip into the deep, dark woods. What do you think you will see in the deep, dark woods? I can hear you say lion and tiger and elephant and lots of big animals. But guess what? It's not the animals you're gonna see. I am taking you on an ant safari. This is going to be very unusual. Yes, you bet. And you know what? We are going to follow this story through a little boy's eyes. Okay? He's lost in the woods and he wants to go back to his base camp. Do you know what is a base camp? It's a place where everybody gets together for camping and they have their tents over there, and from that spot they go around the jungle to explore. So that area is called the base camp. Now he's come away from the base camp and he can't find his way back to the base camp. And he sees an army of ants and he's following them and let's see where they go. So here's the story, The Bug Safari by Bob Warner. I was lost in a bug-infested jungle one hot summer day. I was all alone looking for a way back to the base camp when I saw a long line of marching black ants. Where could they be going? It looked like an ant safari. Was this a way out of the jungle? I decided to follow. Let's see whether that decision was a good decision. In all my travels, I had never seen anything like the ant safari. Some of the ants carried things to eat, such as leaves, seeds, or bits of other animals. The ant safari was in a hurry to get somewhere. The ants didn't even look up at the big dragonfly that buzzed over their heads. We headed deep into the dark, unknown jungle. Ooh, where are they heading? I crawled over rocks and through mud. I had to find where the ants were going. The safari passed under flowers that were humming with honey bees collecting pollen. Ooh, if you disturb the honey bees, they might sting. I was measuring one of the ants with my ruler when the other ants zoomed past me and a slow-moving dung beetle. I noticed that the ant talked to one another by touching antennae on top of their heads. They all knew where they were going. We were moving quickly, but to where and what? So the fast-moving ants and the slow-moving dung beetle. You know who's a dung beetle? He's like the garbage man of the insects. Then I saw them up ahead. Red ants! The black ants were fighting them. The tiny red ants were fierce and bit the black ants. The black ants stood their ground and battled for several minutes until the outnumbered red ants finally ran away. One of the black ants took charge. I called it the general. The wounded were treated and the safari continued. Ooh, there was a fight between the red ants and the black ants. The red ants are a little bigger in size and the black ants are smaller, but they have a very bad bite. But the brave black ants finally won. I was baking in the sun. I had a drink from my canteen. Do you know what is a canteen? It's not the one that is there in your school where you get food. A canteen over here means a water bottle. Just one sip left. Oh dear. His canteen, his water bottle had only one sip left. The ants became very excited. They had come upon a toad sitting in the middle of their path. Most of the ants ran around it, but a few got zapped. Oh no, the toad ate them. Ew, that's sad. Why would they keep going with all this danger? Where could they be going? Now even I am thinking the same thing. Why would they be going even in spite of all this danger? The black ants seem to be going somewhere very important, I think. Let's find out. Then I saw it. Did they finally find what they were looking for? Let's see. A giant green mantis in the bush above the ants. Oh no, that's another danger. One of the ants was plucked up and eaten, but all the others marched ahead. They passed under the sticky spider webs, spotted beetles, and noisy crickets that made a chirpy noise as we passed by. I picked my way through the jungle. I had scraped my knees and cut my fingers and needed medical attention. I bravely pressed onward, hoping I would one day see another human being. Aww, the poor little boy was hoping that he could see somebody who could help him take him to the base camp. All of a sudden, a hairy black spider pounced in front of the ants. The general led the safari round the giant, but I feared the worst. I hid my eyes and ducked for cover. Then, with a swooshing sound, the spider was gone. I looked up to see its 8 legs wiggling in the beak of the robin. Robin is a bird and they love to eat spiders. So the robin had grabbed the spider and he was eating the spider. We were all safe for the moment. The general marched on. Oh my God, that was a close call. Otherwise the giant spider would have eaten them all. I was out of water, famished and covered with bites. Famished means very hungry. And all the insects must have bitten him. Then I heard a faint sound in the distance. I was perfectly still in the bush so I could listen very carefully. A lone mosquito buzzed past my ear. Bzzz. Finally, I heard the call. A human voice. Base camp! Finally, he reached the base camp. Lunch was ready. To my surprise, I discovered where the ants were going. The ants were going to the base camp too. For lunch, I'm sure. I love a good safari, and so do the ants. Now look at the picture very carefully. Does that look like a camp? And does that bush look like a jungle? I think this little boy was pretending that he's in the jungle while he was in his garden playing, and he was following the ants. But what a lovely adventure! Crawling in the mud, looking at the insects. And how many insects did he find? I want you to listen to the story very carefully and do tell me how many insects did I talk about in this story on my Facebook page. Don't forget to write to me. On that note, good night, sleep tight, don't get into any pillow fights.